Let's bring out Spencer Crittenden.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
What do you think about Jews and black people in TV?
I'm for them.
It's an incredibly condescending attitude. You can't win.
You're part of the problem, you know that.
I'd like to think so.
You have the beard of a Talmudic scholar.
I was thinking that. There's around here. There's a lot of Hasidic Jewish neighborhoods, and I don't know. I don't think they have long, not beard hair. But I always wonder when I'm walking amongst them, like, do they know?
It pisses me off.
Do they know that you're just not one of them on having a really lazy day?
Yeah,
because you're wearing a community T-shirt and no Indiana Jones hat.
Yeah. Wait, what?
That's what they wear. Those like Indiana Jones hats.
They wear those big hats.
Yeah.
The big square ones?
No, not the square ones.
Well,
they're like round.
Indy wore a square one once.
All I can say is Indiana Jones hat. You can't picture that? What the fuck?
I never.
He's never seen an Indiana Jones movie.
No, it's an adventurer's. Yeah, they don't
it's
wear
like a
those.
black hat, but it's shaped like Indiana Jones
But it
hat.
is a funny idea for an adventure movie.
Where he has to like get the hat under there. Oy vey! Of course, it's the tomb with all the gold that he has to go there.
Instead of snakes, it's just gold. Why did it have to be gold?
I could say that because I'm anti-Semitic.
That's true. That's right. That's right. That's fair.
It's just who I am.
Yeah, but you could definitely, if you put a black Indiana Jones hat on and a suit.
I kind of want to see that.
I figured that they didn't have like long hair. Like you see the earlocks and stuff, but like their head hair's not that long. Is that
might
a
be
thing?
true. Yeah, for all we know.
You can hide it in the hat.
Well, the beard
That's what the
might
hat's
be reserved for like that might be.
I feel about those guys the way that like a lot of gay people must feel about like transvestites. Like, really? We're in the same club? This is I'm on your side in this. Hey, treat us fairly, and obviously the guy with the hat too. He's with us. Or the gay person who's got to say, and also that 60-year-old man who's dressed like a stewardess. Be nice to him.
There's a lot of, in Brooklyn, in Williamsburg, which is a very Jewish neighborhood before it became all hipster, there's like certain places where it's like a certain time, certain days of the week, I don't know much about, but there's only certain things you can do in the house and you can't do them outside. So
on the day of Gahach is what you're thinking of.
Is that
the third day of Gahach?
No, you're thinking of the Beastmaster movie.
Oh, right.
So they have like ropes from their house basically extending the boundary of their house. So you go there and it's all like ropes around so you can basically do everything.
I believe it. I don't know much.
There's all kinds of
truthfully.
amazing, I
know more about Neanderthal than I do about...
Our mutual friend Ryan Ridley, he became he went through...
Oh yeah, he had that period. I blocked it out.
During that phase, I was really fascinated to hear about all of the...
He went to Israel for a long time.
What the real, what crazy shit
do you
and
believe?
shuls and Shabba Shibas and stuff were about. The idea
it's called Rosh Hashanah.
the idea that you would have a day in the week for your religion where the idea was basically just put your fucking cell phone away. Like don't tweet, don't.
You can have your neighbors come in and turn on your oven. That's a thing.
Well, yeah, if they're not, like other people. It's basically forcing your hand as a human being. It's saying, like, are you human or you're not? It's such a cool, I don't know. I think we've talked about this before, but it's like, obviously Christianity took this route that was like, holy shit, let's make this let's take over the world. Let's have a Ronald McDonald and let's have a corporate headquarters and let's franchise and let's have pretty low requirements for our franchise.
And you know what we should do? We should pass around a plate. Whatever you want, we're not looking. Just God is who will decide what happens to you. But whatever you want.
And I think people who fetishize
set a price.
Judaism ideologically like I do, what you're fetishizing is the idea of keeping it in the community, which it has obvious benefits. Like it's so amazing, the idea of a religion that actually deals with your neighbor, which it should. The idea that you and the people that live nearest
you could say that, or you could say it's just piggybacking on our natural proclivity to do that.
What do you mean?
That we're very social creatures, right? I mean,
that's why your religion should do that. It fits like
but it kind of it's like how a hypnotist like holds the watch above your eyes and then says you're getting sleepy, and you're actually just looking up and you're hearing you're getting sleepy, and your eyes are kind of getting tired.
Right, but don't you think that to a certain point a magician's act, like to a certain point, if that magician is an asshole, he might end up molesting a Hooters waitress with that power, or
I don't think you'd have to hypnotize him to.
Or if he's a hypnotherapist, he might use that power to make a husband and wife respect each other.
But that has nothing to do. If you're saying that these I mean, I know you're not saying this, but the idea of religion,
I probably am. If I know me,
the idea of the religion saying to the magician, like, and by the way, don't finger that little boy, is like, again, like I wasn't going to, but it's nice to know that I get a reward for that.
But wait, are we talking about the same thing?
I don't think so. I don't think you're talking about the same thing.
I think that
I'm talking about Scud, the disposable assassin. Now 20 years.
I'm saying that as a guy raised definitely like semi-Christian, totally not Jewish, but learning. So when I've heard about the covenant and so Judaism, when you're growing up, like. I fetishize it the way I fetishize like English comedy, because I look over that fence and what I see is community. I see not the show, which is awesome.
I know, you see it everywhere. I mean, it's so interesting. I saw it on the side of a bus.
It's not centrally franchised, and I think that's the key. It's the Saturn dealer of religions. It's very important to not centralize.
We do it anyway, is kind of my point.
Everybody fucks up every religion somewhere. Like every house you walk into, every place. But I'm saying like the
well, when the central tenet is the thing that doesn't make sense is how you know it's real, right? The thing, you cannot prove this. If you're going to try to prove this, then you don't get it.
Yeah, that's faith.
But that's faith.
Yeah, that's faith.
That's good, though. That's good religion, though. Isn't that better than I demand everyone in this room realize that your eyeball was built by God?
No, because if you demanded it, people would rise up against it. So it's like, that's why I'm saying like the hypnotist. If you give people what they're kind of doing anyway, right? And it's like, hey, you guys are here, so you must believe in Xenu. Right? It's like, well, they're here. Like, it's, I don't know. It's just,
that's
I'm
so
anti.
But there's something good. There's a difference between going with the flow and exploiting natural impulses. People have a tribal impulse. Like people,
absolutely.
That's why the Flintstones had a laugh track. Because and no one went like, what the fuck? This is a cartoon.
No,
Why is there a laugh?
It was
because we have a
Jerry
tribal
Hanna saying to Scott Barbera.
People, if somebody shows you
these
an image,
animals have a social instinct. No, you're absolutely right.
If somebody says to you, "Hey, listen to 200 people with you," like not 2 million, not 4 million, not 6 million, but 200 people in the room with you laughing at something, it comforts you, and you can relate to it. We can remember 200 people's names and stuff. So you go to your shul. I'm barfing up things that I learned from my Jewish friend while he was through his mega Jewish phase, but I was like, this is so much cooler than Sunday school.
That's what I miss about, like, in Islam, we would go to the mosque, and it's powerful, whatever the ideas are, but there's like 200 people, and we all believe the same thing.
Right, but that's what it's
feeling.
Convincing you of. I mean, I would argue that what Spencer's about to take us through makes more sense. Right?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that religion and devotion is a lot like, being, fanaticism. It's all the same thing. It's like when people are really into, say, like a very high quality graphic novel, like about a robot that murders people for a living.
By the way, it's Scud's 20th anniversary.
Yeah, last night Rob gave me that book not too long ago, but
for your birthday.
Yeah, and I hung out with him, helping him with his AMA on Reddit, and
like a friend,
like a real friend might do.
like somebody, like my oldest friend. No, probably.
Would I also pick you up from the airport?
No.
I will. So, I mean, there's that.
What was your proof? What was that supposed to
When you're old friends, like Steven Spielberg doesn't pick George Lucas up from the airport, and he doesn't help him with his AMA.
That's true.
You get a Spencer for that, and then Spencer's
I
awesome.
didn't even ask you.
When you said your oldest friend, you shot me a look. I don't want anything to do with this. I'm just going to be Jewish about
Let's
this.
go back to
Super
the-
cool.
Now go back to talking.
Yeah, somehow the religion thing was less controversial than the AMA.
I did not understand that religion discussion. I'm sorry, you guys.
Well,
I must
because
have
neither
missed
of us
something.
quite,
Almost
neither of
talked
us
about
got.
my comic book for.
Oh, yeah, that,
We never got to. Neither of us kind of formed our point.
yeah, well,
We
that's
might have
what-
been making
yeah.
the same one. We don't know.
I always feel like I clumsily stumble around this button at Harmontown about the value of religion, and I'm talking to some very smart, quite possibly spectrum-oriented people who very, very justifiably and very heroically are very skeptical about any kind of religion in their life. I never want to break down that wall because that would be evangelism, and I believe that when I die it's going to go black, and I have no idea what's going to happen after that.
Yeah.
But during my life on this earth, boy howdy, is there a whole bunch of shit that I can't account for and don't understand, and I don't cotton to not exploring that stuff because I think there's a higher power. I just believe in the very lazy, natural neck pillow of going, you know what? For now, that stuff's called asshole in the sky, who is self-admittedly in all of holy literature, a guy who alternatingly comes home from work drunk or sober, and in either case might want to beat your ass or help you out.
But I think the key is I'm complicit in this too, that you almost try not to think about it. And it so happens that it is becoming more socially appropriate to challenge it.
Yeah,
right? Which is probably the only reason I'm even doing that.
Which I think is
because
almost
Bill Maher and
yeah.
Sam Harris and everybody else,
Yeah,
right? So go ahead, sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. I was never going to.
That's why I
So I was going to say that neck pillow is shrinking as we sort of do figure out all those things. That we don't need a God to be like, well, God's angry, that's why there's a hurricane. No, we know because the hot and the cold are. However, hurricanes actually work. I just
always think.
Well, to mutilate that metaphor, if the pillow shrinks as our neck shrinks, though, we as a species, our neck grows. But by the time we've gotten down to 0.0001 seconds after the Big Bang, not knowing what's happening, by the time we're debating about gluons versus zooons and gluons, we also at the same time are developing weapons that can destroy us in the blink of an eye.
Sure.
So we with one hand, it's so hard to articulate. I have to be such a more sober, intelligent, academic person.
Or more drunk, right? I mean, it's true. Access it.
I don't want any smart people to ever drink any Kool-Aid, ever. But I want them to allow themselves the emotional and instinctive joy that is to connect to the unknown.
Yeah,
well,
but
I think you can.
I think you don't have to be stupid.
But that's not a religious. That's not a religious phenomenon. In fact, I would argue that religion. That's not a religious phenomenon. That actually religion tries to quiet that
I agree
joyous
with that, absolutely.
acceptance of the mass.
I will be the first person. If you want to burn down a fucking establishment, if you want me to
I
talk
guess
shit
we could do. There's a temple on the corner of Highland. I would. Do you guys want to do that?
If you want somebody to take a big steaming dump on modern American Christianity as it is served up to us, I'm first in line with you. I'll do a better, more self-destructive job than anybody. I just think the big crime is the mishmash of we're wearing these crosses around our necks. The cross is because there's this dude who, mythical, like Paul Bunyan or not, the story is about a guy
It's a great story.
Who took
and
no
he was a brilliant
shit
guy.
to the point where, and who said to people, here's the thing, all they can do is bully you to the point where you're afraid to die. If you stop being afraid to die, they don't have any power over you. He was like, I mean, the equations between that and Martin Luther King Jr. are not unjustified. Like, it was a person who,
without question, that is a human connection. That is human to human. And the question is, when Ichthyostega first crawled out of the sea, if they could pray, would the cross have like two, horizontal bars, because their god was a giant ichthyostega.
And the symbol doesn't matter. And so now you flash forward to these mega churches where people are being told, hey, you don't have to understand any of this. All you have to do is accept Christ as your Savior. And then that's not religion. I will be the first to agree with Bill Maher and all of you.
I think it's very interesting that you said that taking the fear of death away, which is what a lot of religion does, there's something else after it. Because that's all our instincts as animals are about fearing death, staying away from death, and in a way...
And about our anxiety about causing it.
Yes, exactly. And I think...
but that's why it's an opiate.
I think that's what religion does, is remove you from that. And Islam was always about body and spirit are two very different things. Spirit's good, body's bad.
Right.
And I think that's when religion can get
harmful.
Body's
bad is where it gets tricky,
Yeah, that's where it gets tricky. It also gets tricky because you don't just define yourself by what you are, but by what you aren't in opposition. So a lot of the problems that we have with, the biggest problem of religion is Islam, well, we're right, but also that means that they're wrong, so we should fix that. And that's where the problems come in, I think. Also, religion is good because you don't want everyone negotiating their own morality, Like, it's good to have...
I think everyone in this room would probably agree that the big problem point comes when, now we believe in some kind of afterlife, and then politicians on Earth, here and now, start selling you stakes in that, even if it's just by telling you, it's cool that you're poor. The poorer you stay, the richer you're going to be later. That's complete horse shit. Yeah. I don't think that it's this afterlife concept that it gets taken too seriously. I think it's very harmful. Yeah, incredibly. Because I mean, the idea, the messages behind religion that I've read have to do with how you should live your life right now. None of them say curl up in a ball and hang out for 40 years and then die by saber-toothed tiger and then tap dance in heaven with Gishmagosh.
Yeah, but they're not ever about being good for being good's sake. It's all about the reward or the punishment. Like Islam has
they say a lot of stuff, but the people that play it up for profit, those are the people that fuck things up for the nice people.
But it's not even just.
And ironically, they won't go to hell because there is
probably because that would be a silly waste of spiritual resources.
I mean, really, honestly, would it just be loaded with bad animals too, or is it just people? Where do the bunnies go? We
had in Islam, it's very specific. It's like a Hellraiser kind of hell. Like if you listen to music, when I was a little kid, we were told that they would pour molten lead in your ears in hell. And I remember listening to Michael Jackson's Smooth Criminal and being like, I'm in trouble because this song is so good.
There's got to be a point though where you'd be like, molten lead, I don't care, because it's the other thing about hell.
No,
it's
when you're like 8, that's all that matters is not getting molten lead in your ear.
The thing that scares me about the concept of hell was one of the smartest guys I ever knew, my my high school dungeon master, Graham Cummings. He explained, he said, well, when you die, your last thought, the time it takes for you to think it, is relative. So for you, as a dying person, even though to other people you're already dead, your last thought as you die, we don't know how long you think it relative to you. So I was like, so if you're walking across the street and you're like, this donut's too salty. Bus hits you. 500 million years of this donut's too salty. This donut's too salty. This donut's too salty.
Well, that's hell. That would be okay. But worse would be this bus is gonna hit me. This bus is gonna hit me.
Or more importantly, like my girlfriend's bitch, or any hatred that you're carrying.
Or my donut is just salty enough.
Yeah, that's heaven, bro.
Well, anything forever, but I think you
perfect saltiness level.
Okay, I don't know anything about food.
We've already established. Yeah. Oh, bacon's in this. That's your last one.
I always think as a
sounds like a very wise dungeon master.
I always make it my goal to make sure that last thought will be like smooth as ice. I've been outed as enough things, and it's all out there. I'm not hanging on to anything. I think when you die, however you die, so that your last thought can be as close to nothing as possible, so that if it lasts 50,000 years, it's just like
It probably doesn't.
Yeah.
It probably
you
doesn't.
probably don't. Let's play Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah.
You probably don't.
We covered.
You probably don't. You probably don't. You probably don't.
Oh shit!
Oh fuck!
Why
I died.
did
Or
make
like
him say
I
that?
died.
This heroin is great. This heroin is great.
I don't think this is a heart attack.
This is a
and
panic
over
attack.
again.
Dr. Schroeder told me this is a panic attack.
Yeah.
Dr. Schroeder told me this is a panic attack. Dr. Schroeder told me this is a panic
No,
attack.
it's the green wire.
Oh shit! It was probably the green wire.
Yeah.
It's probably the green wire.
I can make fun of Islam. Muslims are laid back.
That's a good one.
Oh, that kid with the very heavy vest just wants to hug me.
Yeah.
I love being a reservist.
Yeah. What a friendly lion.
Let me talk to
This
these
guy's got
guys.
his hand up, or are you?
Oh,
I'm also waving, but
oh, hello.
Oh yeah, you guys should all feel free to wave. Yeah, that
Everyone-
doesn't.
Where did he go? Where did the guy? We were just trying to find him.
Yeah.
Shit, we'll play Dungeons
All right.
and Dragons.
What's on your mind, young man?
well, I had a couple of thoughts about the whole religion conversation. I was hoping to chime in if I could.
I feel like we pretty much wrapped it up. I thought we.
Let's talk about this for another 5 hours.
We usually have a policy of well, you know what? No, come on up here and take a microphone. It would be pretty hypocritical of us to say.
You might as well take my microphone.
Watch out, he has the best.
Well, I do have a vest. Well, I've got to say, I heard first that this was going to be a Schraub episode. My first thought was, damn it, and then you tore them apart for half an hour, which was the best thing ever.
The fact that you had a pre-written opener is worrying us. You told us you had thoughts about religion. Like, we want you to be sincere. And
No, I do.
Yeah, it doesn't include banter time.
I apologize. Well, no, it got me thinking because I'm an aspiring scholar of religion. What Spencer said got me thinking because you were comparing Judaism, which the reason for the side locks and for the rope attached to the house, it's about how far you can travel on the Sabbath. What constitutes travel on the Sabbath?
That's the reason for the side locks.
No,
no,
the
that has to do
ropes
with
that
shaving
extend
the
your
corners
house.
of the head.
Yeah, okay.
It's a whole thing.
Those ropes around LA. A couple years ago, I saw a news story about
That sounds about LA.
Yeah.
But the thing is, because there are 613 mitzvot rules that do thou shalt and shalt nots in the Old Testament, and those are the neck pillow, the way they experience their connection with what is beyond us. And to them, that structure. There's actually a really good Jew blog called Jew in the City. It's an
Jew blog.
Yeah, Jew in the City. It's an Orthodox Jewish blog about this lady and how they use.
I bet it doesn't update on Fridays.
There's just a rope hooked up to a keyboard.
There you go. And those.
Just waving.
No, I'm just waving.
And those structures are how they connect with God. And then on the other end, you've got I'm Baha'i personally, and we have a very very loose, very easygoing spirituality. And what Mr. Herbert,
I'm bewasted, by the way.
very good. Well, what you said over there, you said that
I'm not.
you said that
More like bye-bye. Go ahead.
Tell me.
I was just going to say that what Mr. Hurwitz over there said, that what we're about to do with Spencer makes more sense than, religion X. A lot of friends of mine are hardcore rules lawyers, and that's how they enjoy the game. They enjoy having an answer, a do or do not for any given situation.
Right, like a give and take with God.
Yes!
Fascinating!
No, that's right.
Well, I just,
Man, you really launched a Scud missile at his argument.
But it is.
a religion with a monotheistic God, which is what I hope I don't offend anyone by saying this. What the Hebrews invented, what they brought into popular usage, which is a relationship with one dude who was coming home drunk and
And
mad.
these are the rules you follow to not piss off drunk daddy when he comes home.
And then you go and you debate the rules and you finger your beard and go like, well, when he said this, did he really mean that? And it's part of the game and it's fun. It's a covenant, if you will, with like a higher power.
A game isn't a game if it doesn't have rules.
Exactly.
Right?
And then you've got people like Moses Maimonides who figured out the whole what constitutes travel on the Sabbath thing. And so people figuring out how to experience that on their own after the rules have already been laid down, which is essentially homebrewing.
Like God somehow thought, if they live on Detroit or maybe on, that street that's parallel to Fairfax, that's a duplex situation. So there's a height issue. You can go down. You don't stay up there.
All right, so can we engage in the ancient Hebrew tradition of ejecting you from the stage?
Sure.
I wasn't dissing you.
We got kicked out of Eden. We got kicked out of
Exactly.
Egypt. It's an emerging trend, and
Yes.
I won't break it.
Thank you, sir. What was your name?
Thank you.
Casey. Thank you, Casey.
Thank you, Casey.
Casey, very nice to meet you. Baha'i has some Islamic influence, right?
We're actually the Christianity to Islam's Judaism. Yeah.
So you hate us?
We're the Christianity to Islam's Judaism. I like that. I like how messed up that is.
Yeah. I have a T-shirt that says that on it.
We think of ourselves as the Meadowlark Lemon to Penny Marshall's Joe Biden.
When
you
we
can
get out of
follow
the
that.
60s, the
If you
80s are
can
going to make
just-
the 70s look like the 90s.
We're the aftermath
Is that
to
is,
the iPads.
is that, man. Whatever. I think the Baha'i thing was. I think that's what Ridley got into.
No. Baha'i is not. He got into like Orthodox Judaism. Baha'i is its own religion that's sort of takes influences from
We emerged in an Islamic context.
Islamic context.
This is going to be a funny one. I think you should.
I don't think we should yell out "stop" at people. I understand. I understand.
It's fairly new, right?
I understand you want the show to be
1840s.
good and blah blah blah. But
1840s, yeah.
I mean, it's like you roll the dice when you live your life organically. You do a fucking show. You bring up people. You talk about what you talk about. You take the good with the bad. I think like people wander up.
I mean, these are the facts of life.
You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and then you have
a
the
Baha'i
Harmontown
religion.
You have some episodes that are me and a blackout drunk talking about gender neutrality, and if you have the power to go change the channel, then you're watching Big Bang Theory and go watch that. I mean, it's like this is free and it's 2 hours long, and you get what you get.
It's not free.
What do you
But
mean
it's
this-
very
I'm
cheap.
paying a lot for this.
Oh, this is $10 for you guys. Fuck you, yeah. And several hours of standing on your feet in a comic book store and stuff. Okay.